The unsinkable woman. 3 disasters tried to take her. The ocean failed every time. You've heard of the RMS Titanic, but almost no one knows the name Violet Jessop, a woman who survived not 1, not 2, but 3 major ship disasters in the early 20th century. They would later call her the unsinkable woman. In 1911, Jessop was working as a stewardess aboard the RMS Olympic when the massive liner collided with a British warship. The impact tore into the ship's side. Passengers panicked, and for a moment it looked like the ocean might claim another vessel. But the Olympic stayed afloat, and Jessop walked away without injury. Most would have left the sea behind after that. She didn't. A year later, she stepped onto a new ship, the largest and most luxurious ever built, the RMS Titanic. On the night of April 14th, 1912, an iceberg appeared too late to avoid, and the collision opened the hull to the freezing Atlantic. As the ship slowly began to fail, Jessop focused on her duty, guiding passengers, loading lifeboats, and keeping people calm as fear spread across the decks. Then, an officer placed a baby in her arms and ordered her into a lifeboat. From the darkness of the ocean, she watched the Titanic break apart and disappear beneath the surface, taking more than 1,500 people with it. She survived the night, but the child she carried was taken from her hours later by a woman who said nothing and vanished into the crowd. For most people, that would have been the end of any life at sea. For Jessop, it was only the middle. By 1916, during World War I, she was serving as a nurse aboard another enormous ship, the HMHS Britannic, a sister vessel to Titanic. That morning, an explosion ripped through the hull after the ship struck a naval mine, and water flooded in so quickly that evacuation became chaos. Lifeboats were lowered while the engines were still running, and the spinning propellers dragged some of them beneath the surface. Jessop jumped into the water to escape, but as she fell, her head struck the ship's keel with enough force to fracture her skull. She should have died there. Instead, she resurfaced, alive, floating in open water as the Britannic sank beneath her. 3 disasters. 3 moments where survival should have been impossible, and yet every time she endured. Years later, doctors would discover the old skull fracture from that final incident, an injury so severe she hadn't even realized it at the time. And still, she continued to work at sea for decades, calm and composed, as if the ocean had already done its worst and lost. Violet Jessop, the woman the sea couldn't claim. She died in 1971, in bed, 83 years old. 3 ships went down. She didn't. Some stories fade. Others refuse to sink. If you enjoyed and find this story insightful, like, share, and follow 60 Wonders for more.